Hi, everyone. This is Lunch and Learn for November. I'm Michelle Cobb, Executive Director of the Podcast Academy, and we have a very special guest who is going to talk to us about getting the word out. And as she's joined our Lunch and Learn today, she was tweeting and Facebooking and doing all those things. So I will make the floor hers, and she will take questions after she's done speaking. So cue those up. Sheletta, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sheletta Brundidge. I'm the CEO and founder of ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com. It's a podcasting platform for Black folks. There are 8 unique weekly shows, all hosted by African-American subject experts, and the shows range from maternal health to teen mental health to autism awareness, travel, empowerment, comedy, diversity, and inclusion. We fashion ourselves as a one-stop shop for cultural relevance and creativity. Now, we started this podcasting platform less than 2 years ago. It was February 1st, 2020, in honor of Black History Month. That was very intentional. And then COVID hit, right after the startup. So we had to find creative ways to reach out to make sure that people knew that we were here. There are millions of podcasts out there. And people are constantly asking me, how is it that you wind up on Good Morning America? How did you wind up on CBS This Morning? What did you do to get in USA Today? And my message to them is it is all about the message. As we podcast and we talk about what is going on in the world, whether we are making fun of it, whether we are crying about it, whether we are living through it, or just commenting and giving our 2 cents. It is so important that we make sure that not just our subscribers and listeners hear what we're saying, but also the world. That's how you increase your listeners. That's how you increase your subscribers. That's how you increase your viewers. And that's also how you increase your revenue. Podcasting is fun. It's like living in your own world. You're your own boss. You can say what the hell you feel, and you don't have those restrictions on you. But at some point, you can use this podcast as a platform, not just for social change and justice, not just to relay information to people, not just to talk about your cares and concerns, but also as a platform for your finances, as a business, as more than just a hobby. My podcast has gone from being my side hustle to my main source of income for me and my 4 children, and it is sustaining me. Why? Because I am constantly on TV, constantly in the news. Somebody's always calling me to give my 2 cents about one thing or another. And why? Why are they doing that? Social media. Social media is the key. My kids joke around and say, Mom, you're always playing on Facebook. You're always playing on Twitter, and what they don't know and don't see, and what a lot of people don't see, is social media is very strategic. The people who produce CBS This Morning, the people who produce the Today Show, the writers at USA Today, they all follow me. Why? Because I went on and followed them. So they see what I'm talking about. They see what concerns I have. I interject myself into the conversation. And I don't just talk about it on my social media platforms, but I talk about it on my podcast. And then I link to the podcast. So then they have to go back and listen. I've been quoted in USA Today, not because they called and asked me a question, but because the writer of the article saw a comment I made on social media and then went and listened to the podcast. And then they just quoted the podcast. I had no idea until someone called me and said, hey, you're in USA Today. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? I look up and all of the quotes were directly from my podcast. But it is all about the message. It is all about the message that you put on social media, the stories that you align yourselves with. And if you've got a podcast on autism, you should be commenting on stories that have anything to do with autism. You should make sure that you are on social media in real time engaging in conversation with the author of columns, with people in your network. You should be the first one reporting on things so that when newspapers and magazines and TV stations and talk shows start thinking about autism or whatever it is that your podcast is about, they think about you and they call you and they reach out to you. And that's going to make your numbers go up. That's going to make your subscribers go up. That's going to put you in a position where they are constantly reaching out to you. And then the next thing you'll be is their resident expert. Well, let's call her. She's the autism mom. Yeah, she's always commenting on Twitter and Facebook about kids with autism. Let's call her. Let's put her on the show. She can talk to Gail King. She can talk to, whomever, Cheryl Underwood on the talk. She can talk on the Daily Blast. Because those reporters, those producers, those people are on social media. You want to get on the news, you want to get on TV, you want to get more eyes and ears on your podcast. Everyone is on social media. That's the key. Commenting on stories in real time, engaging in real conversations, and making sure you don't miss out on anything, especially when the subject matter is linked directly to what you're talking about on your podcasts.
Thank you. I have a question for you, actually.
Okay.
So I work with a podcast that it's branded in a different way. It's like not a personal podcast. And so what would you suggest for someone whose podcast doesn't have a personal identity in that same way? So we're talking.
What's the subject matter of the podcast?
It is actually about science of stories. It's about human flourishing. So it's about stories and research and people who are working in science and how that applies to, moving humanity forward in different ways.
Girl, you can be commenting on all that stuff. Even though you say it's not personal, it's all personal. Everybody has to have a personal touch. There's a person. If you don't touch people personally, I don't care if your podcast is about robotics. There's a way to touch people personally. If you don't think in terms of touching people personally, then people are not going to tune in. There's so much research out there that say, especially during the pandemic, that people were listening to more podcasts because they were disconnected to their friends, and podcasters became their friends. So not only do we have to deliver the message regarding that touches people, we have to go on social media and engage them that same way. So it doesn't matter what the topic is. You've got to find a way to touch people personally, make them want to click on the link, make them want to not only listen, but also share it with their friends. And then their friends share it with their friends. But there's got to be a personal connection and a personal touch. Otherwise, why are we doing it? We just talk to ourselves, but you've got to find that personal connection.
Great point. Thank you. Any other questions for our guest today? Maureen agrees about adding that personal angle. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, because if you don't do that, then, people don't have a motivation. We are competing with so many things for people's time. And that's why when I'm doing these podcasts, I don't take people's time lightly. Our 8 shows that we have, I host 2 of them. The rest are hosted by other Black subject experts. And I produce them all, right? Because after COVID, no advertisers, we have to bring everything in-house. And so they'll be in the middle of the podcast. And I'm like, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't listen. Because there's no personal connection. There's no personal touch. No matter what your delivery is, even if I don't identify with it, even if, it's not my subject, of choice this week, I still have to feel like there's a personal connection. So if it's not impacting or affecting me, then maybe it impacts or affects somebody that I know. So if the personal connection might not even be with the person that's listening, but it might be with someone that they're thinking about, someone that they are connected to. And it's all about making sure you pass that on. And in these podcasts and keeping it in the same vein of getting more media, I remember when John and Chrissy Teigen's son, Jack, died. Well, we have a podcast called Life After Loss, hosted by Darcia Handy. She's a registered nurse. She's an angel mom. Her son died shortly after childbirth 14 years ago. And each week she helps moms and dads who have lost a child on the road to recovery. And, you know, the story broke at 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, guess what? I had to wake her up. You need to get on social media and be talking about this. You need to get on social media and be interjecting yourself into the conversation. Any news outlet in town that's talking about this, you need to be talking about it, not exploitively, but letting other moms and dads who are coming forward and saying, hey, this happened to me. I'm going through this right now. It happened 10 years ago and I'm still going through it. Let them know that there is a family, there is a network, there is a podcast out there, and an entire family and a community of angel moms and dads that you can identify with. Well, guess what? She was up all night talking to angel moms, and encouraging them and giving them, you know, the feedback that they didn't get from the hospital when their child died, right? And so the next thing you know, she's on NBC.
Wow.
You know, because they are up and they are looking to see who is engaging in conversation. So somebody from NBC called and said, hey, you are the host of that Life After Loss podcast. We saw you talking about it on Twitter. We wanted to know if you could do an interview with us this morning. Well, then there you go. That's how that works. It's that simple. You know, nobody's sending it. It used to be that if you wanted the media to cover your event or talk about your podcast or help share your story, you would send out a news release, you would type it up, you would find out who the email address is for the news station, and then you would send it to them, call and see if they got it, and then call back to make sure they got it, and then hope somebody responds to you and you know, tells your story or does a piece or a column or a news item on you. That's not how it works anymore. Social media has completely changed the game. You don't have to do a news release anymore. You don't have to go to a PR agency. You can if you'd like, but if you just get on social media and engage and give folks a personal touch, then guess what? The news media is going to look for you. You know, I laugh all the time because our family's gone viral like 4 times. And I woke up one morning, I said, I feel like going viral today. And they were like, oh my God, if anybody can do it, you can. You know, and what we do is we just, you know, it's the messaging. Your messaging is so important. You know, when Darcia Handy got online to talk about what happened with John Legend and Chrissy Teigen, she didn't say, hey, over here, I got a podcast. I'm selling something. Log on. Listen to me. It was a message. Listen, I've been through this. And when it happened to me, there was no support. I didn't get a pamphlet, a flyer, and I had to go home to all this baby furniture, all these baby clothes, pacifiers and Pampers that I had bought, a room I had painted, and try to figure out how am I going to live my life. And so then she created this platform and she shares a story of why she did it and how she's trying to help other mothers. It's the messaging. The messaging is so important, and that touches people, whether you have lost a child or not. When you hear that, then you say, oh my God, I didn't even think about this. So you go home and you don't have your baby, but you got a house full of baby stuff. What do you do? Where do you go? She's got a podcast. Let me click on that. What's she talking about? How's she helping? My sister lost a baby. I don't even have kids, but I'm going to send my sister this because she's still depressed. It's been 10 years. The messaging is so very important. And you can go viral by yourself. You don't need any help. If your messaging is on point, it has to be laser focused. The messaging has to be laser focused. You know, as an African-American woman, you know, I was hesitant about getting vaccinated, right? I was like, I ain't getting that vaccine. I don't know what's in there. They don't love Black people. The healthcare community has always been unkind to people who look like me. I'm not getting it. I'm just going to stay in the house and take my chances. And so my son was like, Mom, I think you should get the vaccine. And I was like, boy, I think you need to shut up. And we went back and forth, and we have a podcast together called the Mommy and Me podcast, right? And so I said, okay, all right, I'm going to get it. He asked me to get it for his birthday. So I said, okay, I'm going to get it for your birthday. So there's the message. Excellent. I was hesitant. I didn't want to get it. My son convinced me. Here's a link to our show.
Wow.
When I went to get that podcast, when I went to get that shot, NBC News sent somebody from New York. CNN sent somebody from Chicago. There were live shots all day long. It was in USA Today. WebMD was there. Getty Images was there. I was on CBS this morning. I was on the Black News Channel. Good Morning America. All because Tamron Hall. All because of the messaging. Here's a mom. She doesn't want to get the shot. Her son convinces her. They have a podcast together called the Mommy and Me podcast. Listen to their discussion and how he convinced her to get the shot. That's personal. Even if you don't have kids, you got a mama. You have always tried to get your mama to do something she didn't want to do. Well, how did this kid do it? Oh my God, I can't wait to listen. What they talking about? How did that work?
That's incredible.
And then there you go. The messaging has to be laser focused. And I didn't call CNN. I didn't have to. They saw the 1 million hits we got on Twitter. Do I have 1 million followers? No. I got like 2,000 followers. But when the message is right, I got 300,000 hits. Wow, laser focused messaging. You don't need 1 million followers. You don't. I don't even worry about followers. I worry about the message.
That's great advice. It looked like Anu had a question as well. And yes, congratulations on getting your shot. Anu, did you have a question that you wanted to ask?
Yeah. So I wanted to know, how do you price and how do you charge? Because your reach varies. Like when you said, I've got this many followers and you've got this much reach, and some of these are bigger players, more established players, and you are, this is your primary source of income now. Can you give us some tips on pricing and how you manage your rates? Like, how does this work in terms of?
You determine what you are worth.
Okay.
I determine how much it takes for me to put a show together, and everybody's different. Some people hire producers, some people,
Right.
Have marketing folks, some people do it all themselves, some people buy a lot of fancy equipment. Figure out how much it takes for you to put one show together. When you start thinking about how much does it take for you to pay Podbean, how much does it take for you to pay GoDaddy for your site, how much does it take for you to get the marketing up, add that up. How much does it take for one show? And then decide how much you are going to charge advertisers to pay for it. So what I did was I said, okay, it takes me $115 a week to do a show. By the time I pay the marketing people and for, advertising and social media boost, I have to pay, and that's not including what I pay my podcasters. That's just what I pay to get the shows up and running. It's about $115 or so a week. So when I sell my ads, I say, hey, I got 8 shows. It's $100 per show per week. It's $800 a week. So, initially I was just breaking even. But as I sold more ads, then I was able to break even and make money. But you have to determine how much you are spending on a podcast, and podcasts are just so different depending on who's hosting you and how many people you got working with you, and whether you're doing it all by yourself and how much you're spending on marketing. Everybody's different. Like I said, I not including what I paid my people, it's $115 a week per show. And so I'll go to an advertiser and say, hey, this is what it takes for you to be on the show. Because they don't want to hear about, how much you spend. That ain't their business. You just tell them, hey, you want to come over here and hang out with us? It's going to be $100 a show. And no, you can't just advertise on 2 or 3 shows. We are packaged. So it's $800 a week. And here's a contract. Do you want to come on board? But the thing that we did is, for 1 year, I didn't ask for any money. I didn't look for any advertisers. I didn't do any of that. What I did for 1 year was put out the best product that I could, built up my social media following, encourage my people to do the same, market the hell out the product, and more than anything, endeared myself into the community where I live. So whenever there was something going on, the people from my podcasting platform were there. When George Floyd died, we went out to George Floyd Square and we cleaned up. When there's no grocery store in North Minneapolis, we went out there and passed out hams for Easter. We're working at the food bank. And so what happened was a year into it, people realized, wow, they are consistent. Anytime something's going on in the community, they're there. And eyes and ears are there. When they show up, the media shows up. So companies want that connection. Because let me tell you something, they're not going to make no money advertising with us. We got to give them something that nobody else is going to give them. If they wanted advertisers, they just do TV commercials. If they want to advertise in there, just do radio commercials. They'll take out a big ad in the newspaper because we as podcasters on this level, you know, some podcasters are on another level. Joe Rogan, them, that's another level. But on this level where we are, we're not going to give them the big numbers that they're looking for that's going to equate to sales. Their connection with us, just like the social media post, is going to be personal. They're going to connect with us because we're a woman-owned business. They're going to connect with us because we're BIPOC. They're going to connect with us because we're Black-owned media. They're going to connect with us because we're in the community doing something. They're looking to get with somebody who's doing the stuff, who have the visibility that they can trust and that is consistent. They're looking to get their brand out there because let me tell you something. After George Floyd died, these companies were like, oh my God, we're not doing anything. And they start getting called out. Right? After the Me Too movement, these companies were like, oh my God, we're not doing anything with women. And so they started getting called out. So they started looking for women in the community who were doing consistent stuff and saying, let's partner with her. Let's advertise with her. And then they parade us out and say, look, we're doing good stuff. We got a Black woman podcaster. We're sponsoring her show. You sure right. And I will show up at your event. I will smile and wave, boys. And then I will take your check, and then I will enhance my business, and then I can grow the way I want to grow and do the things I want to do and charge you what I want to charge you. But for 1 year, we just worked and we were consistent and we were in the community and we put out good shows and we marketed the hell out of everything we did. And so now we have the authority to charge what we want to charge because they want to be aligned with us because they understand our mission. Before we asked them for a dime, they knew who we were. As podcasters, it's 1 million of us out there. 1 million, maybe more. How do they know who you are? Can they Google you and see? Google ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com right now. We're not talking about later. Right now, you got your computer up, get another browser because you don't really need to see me. I haven't even brushed my teeth and did my hair. I got 4 kids over here. I ain't got time to be brushing teeth and combing hair. Google ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com. Don't put it in your browser. I said Google it and see what comes up. Look at all the news stories. Look at all the community service projects. Look at all the work we've consistently did in the community. So that when we go to companies and say partner with us, they already know who we are. They know what we stand for. You can't go to these companies and ask them to invest in you if they don't know who you are. You got to give them something to invest in because we are not going to give them the numbers. You on here because you don't have 1 million followers. We all in this together. We all swimming, trying to tread water, trying to figure this thing out. And as soon as we figure it out, it's going to change anyway. But for right now, today, you got to show them who you are before you can ask them for anything. And people will say, well, how much are you getting? How are you paying? I took my whole paycheck and poured it into my podcast. My son's socks had holes in them. Hey, look, boy, just put the shoe on. Nobody else see it. My daughter needs some new glasses. Girl, you better squint because mama got to pour this money into this podcast because we have to have a vision. And we want to jump out here and just start asking people for money, but they don't know who we are. They Google us and nothing comes up. Who are these people? What do they stand for? Are they devil worshipers? Do they align with our mission? Are they going to make us look good? Are they going to embarrass us? Every contract that I have, they got some stuff in there about kindness and cussing and drinking and drunk driving and drugs. They don't know you. So you got to show them who you are before you can ask them for anything. Oh, somebody said, how do I market my podcast? Social media is free. You gotta pay no money. Don't even boost the post. Don't even pay no money to boost the post. Because guess what? If your messaging is right, you don't have to boost the post. If your message is good, your post will boost itself. I'm fooling around with y'all right now, and I got a story about to go viral. And instead of me over there babysitting the viral story, I'm over here talking to y'all because I want all of us to do better. I want all of us to make money, and I'm trying to help y'all learn the lessons that I had to learn the hard way, so y'all won't have to go through that. But you can't get on social media and post something and just walk away. You can't do that. If you're on social media, you got to stay on social media. You got to interact with the people that's talking to you. You have to interject yourself into the conversation, and then wait for somebody else to respond, and then you come back and respond to them. Hold on, let me see if I can do this. Hold on, because we talking, and I'm sorry if I'm messing up y'all little plan, but I just believe in being real, and I just believe in engaging in real time. Okay, hold on, because I just, like I said, I just believe in engaging in real time. Okay, all right. Hold on, girl. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I don't know nothing about sharing screen. So can I share my screen? Okay, share.
Yeah,
okay.
You should be able to share.
All right. Okay. All right. Hold on. We're gonna take y'all to my Twitter. Can y'all see my Twitter page?
Yeah.
Okay. So I put something out and people are responding, and I'm over here fooling with y'all. So this thing has let's see. This thing has 11 quote tweets, 11 retweets, and 22 likes. And people are commenting, and I need to be on here commenting with them. Because guess what? This thing is about to go viral. I went on a panel yesterday and talked about how companies are not supporting Black-owned media after they said they would when George Floyd died, right? And so when I got on this morning, I took all of my highlights from what I said, and I put them in one clip and I posted them. Well, guess what? Everybody turned around and started responding to it. So when you do something like that, you have to be there to babysit it. You're not gonna go viral. Going viral is not an accident. It's not something anybody who's gone viral will tell you. Going viral is no accident. You have to get online and you have to post something that people will identify with. And then after you do that, you have to sit there and babysit it. Nobody's gonna go get 1 million hits or 2 million hits or get NBC or CBS or anybody else to call them by posting something and walking away. If I wasn't talking to y'all, I would be laser focused on all these posts right now, because people are responding. Why? Because they identify with what I was talking about. Now, some of these people are my friends. Some of these people I've never heard of or seen before, but because everybody is talking about it, they're posting about it, they're retweeting my tweet, then guess what? Their friends are seeing it. Their social media circles seeing it. And that's how you get the eyes and the ears of people who are making decisions about what stories they're going to do that day, what columns they going to write, who they going to talk to on the news at 6 o'clock. People say, well, you always on the news, because I'm always on social media. It's free. Nobody can tell your story better than you. Nobody knows your story like you do. And when you are laser focused on telling your story, people will pay attention. Okay, so I'm going to give y'all a class on social media. Girl, I hope y'all learning something and getting something out of this. So
it looks like there was a question too.
Okay, tell me, because I ain't looking. I'm over here on Twitter. What they saying, girl? Just shout it out.
Charlene had raised her hand. Charlene, you want to open up your microphone? Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Okay, this is priceless advice, first of all. Thank you very much. And I see why they call you makes me laugh, because I'm over here laughing with my mic off. But so thank you. You said you were talking about having to babysit. I have 2 questions, but first you were talking about having to babysit, and I'm wondering, how much time do you invest in social media as far as throughout your day?
All day. You have to make it a part of what you do and who you are. If you are a podcaster and you have a online platform and an online business, you need to be online all day. This phone is my best friend. And what I do is I keep it with me. Girl, I could be bathing my kids. I could be grocery shopping. I could be whatever I'm doing. I got this phone on me because I don't want to miss anything. Nothing. because you never, it's social media is so fast. And when and as it happens, we need to be in the middle of it. If we call ourselves, podcasters and online business owners, we have to be in the middle of everything that is going on. And we have to be telling those stories. We have to be engaging people. We have to be on top of it. Okay, let me just tell y'all something. I won a whole fucking RV on Twitter. I was on Twitter talking about how I can't take my kids with anywhere because they have autism and we don't want to get kicked off the plane because they can't put the mask on their face. And Marcus Lemonis, who owns Camping World, saw our story. Why? Because he follows me on Twitter. Why? Because I've already gone viral twice this year alone. And he said, I'm going to give you a $100,000 RV. I'm going to give you a contract to be the celebrity spokesperson for our company. So every month, I don't do nothing but sit here and wait on the check from Marcus Lemonis. And I got a $100,000 RV with my name on it that I didn't pay for. Why? Because I'm on social media. I don't take a break. This is greedy. This is greedy. If you want a break, you better go get a job. This is gritty. And the only way to level the playing fields is this social media. This is it. This is the way you level the playing fields with the big dogs, with the Joe Rogans, with the Jamel Hills, all those people. Like I said, I got 2,000 followers. 2,000, maybe 3, I don't know. But I have, just in the past 2 years alone, I've gone viral 8 times. I've been on every national network news outlet in the country and also in London. Okay, so not because I'm so special or anything fabulous, but I stay on social media. I stay on my phone. If there, one of my podcasts is about autism. If there's anything going on about autism, I'm responding to it in real time. I'm talking about it, and because of that, the people will call me. When Kamala Harris won, and she was vice president, and everybody was doing their pearls and stuff, I was posting pictures of me and my daughter and her pearls, and how I gave her my mother-in-law's pearls. I was gonna save them until she got married, but I gave them to her the day of the inauguration. And my kids and I, we skipped school that day and we watched the inauguration. Girl, NBC came to my house. Why? Not because I called them, but because they own social media and they see me talking about it. And the message was laser focused. A Black woman is a vice president. A Black woman is telling her daughter about the importance of this story. And a Black woman is encouraging her daughter and showing her that she can be anything she want to be. Oh, and by the way, she's got a podcasting platform. Here's a link. Bam. Well, then I can go to that advertiser and say, y'all let's see me on NBC. Y'all don't want to be aligned with me? Because this is what I'm all about. I get on NBC.
Okay, so this is a really important point you were making about advertisers, because the conditioned thought is that you need numbers. No, you don't. That's a lie. Girl, that's a lie. I don't listen to it. So yeah. How are you selling yourself to them? Because I'm telling them I'm in the community. You say you're a community company. You say you care about the community. You say you care about BIPOC businesses. You say after George Floyd died on your website, Black Lives Matter. But guess what? I'm a Black life. I'm in the community. Get over here and give me some money. Okay, so you have to shake people down. Honestly, you have to shake people down like the mob. You got to shake people down like the mob. Let me tell y'all something. My mama don't even know this. I just signed a $40,000 contract with a company. Y'all, I work in my kitchen. I got 4 kids. I ain't brushed my teeth and combed my hair today. How did I get a $40,000 ad buy? Girl, why? Because they know that my message is laser focused. They know that if I get on something, that I'm gonna put my teeth in it and I'm gonna get them national media attention when we go out into the community, because all these companies are going out into the community. How are they gonna get their message out? How are they gonna get connected? That's why I spent a whole year not asking for no money, just working in the community and making these podcasts the best that they could be and making my website tight. Like the white guys. The white guys had shit going on. I sat in a meeting. I took one of them to lunch one day. I was like, okay, tell me how you did what you do. How do you get this done? And he just basically laid it out.
And girl, 6 months later, he called me. He was like, Sheletta, you're wrong for what you just did. I said, what are you talking about? He said, your website look just like mine. Exactly. Because I'm trying to get the money you got. I'm trying to get to where you are. These people know. Listen to me. They know we don't have the numbers. That's not why they're going to partner with us. We have to stay in our lane. Now, if you want to go after the million listeners and subscribers, that's fine. This ain't the place for you. What I'm telling you is what works. These companies are looking for people and companies and organizations and podcasters to align with, who are working in the community, who are aligned with what they are aligned with, who they can parade around and put on a website and tell they board about it and say, yes, we are partnering with Sheletta. Sheletta, yes, we know Sheletta. She just gave away like $100 to spread autism awareness. Is that the same one who was out there after George Floyd died, sweeping up and cleaning up the businesses? Well, wasn't she passing out hams in the food desert for Easter and helping people? Then she just give away this. Yeah, I saw she does a lot of stuff in the community. Oh, great.
Okay.
You gotta give them something. It's not gonna be about numbers for us right now. Now, I'm not saying that in 2 or 3 or 4 years that you're not gonna have the million followers. I don't know what's on your vision board. But right now, today, you can still go and demand your worth based on what you are doing in the community, your messaging, what you are doing on social media. That matters. That matters so much. That matters. That matters.
Thank you so
Y'all
much.
got me missing out on all my social media stuff. Hold on, girl. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna keep working. Y'all keep talking.
Okay, as a mother, I'm going to ask you now, as a woman, a mother, like how do you balance parenthood with needing to be so as attentive as you need to be for your business?
No balance. It's no balance. All you can do is find some harmony.
Love it.
No, for real. Like there's no balance in this thing. I mean, you're not gonna get no balance. It's not gonna be, oh well, I get this to my kids and then I get this to my business. No, it's not gonna. Not if you want to be successful. Not if you want to get the work done, because sometimes your kid gonna be hungry for a minute. Sometimes they're gonna be walking around in their pajamas. Sometimes they're gonna be eating Lunchables. And so they just gotta wait. Honestly, like the clothes, they might have to dig in the drawer, basket, and find some clean socks or underwear. That's life. That's life when you're a business owner. That's life when you ain't working for somebody else. That's life when you got your own company and you trying to grow it and do everything you can do. Sometimes I'm at Office Depot with pajamas on and my kids are like, oh my God, Mom, somebody's gonna see you. Well, guess what? That's life. Okay, am I back? Am I still sharing the screen? Or can y'all see me?
Nope, you're back now. Okay. Anu, do you want time to do your demonstration, or should we?
Yeah, we can. I'm gonna give Sheletta another minute or two in case like she wants to wrap up and final comments and things, and then we can dive into updates on our end.
Anybody got some questions? I'd be happy to answer any questions that anybody has, because I just want to make sure that I share whatever knowledge that I have with anybody who needs it.
Yeah, I think we actually got most of the questions, and I've certainly learned a lot. Question. Oh, Charlene has another one. Fantastic.
Yes. So let's say that it's not an issue. This is related to the question that was asked earlier. When it's not an issue that you can give a personal story yourself related to. Like, for example, there was a time when I used to host a radio show, public radio show, and I had women of different ethnicities coming together and sharing their experience. It was a wonderful experience, but I can't promote everything that they say necessarily that comes out of my own personal experience. So what do you do in that case to make sure you're
What do you mean you can't promote everything they say? I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm saying that a lot of
just say it. Like, don't try to fix it.
Examples around promotion. A lot of examples around promotion mean that equals that you relate it to your personal experience. And that's effective marketing. That's
but you can make those ladies stories the promotion. You can't. I do it every week because I've got these 8 shows and I have to promote them. And so like, for instance, I got a travel show. I ain't never been to Bali. But I got to find a way to promote it, and I got to find a way to make it personal to people who are listening and looking at my post. And so those ladies' stories have power. You pick something that touches your heart and you say, I was so touched when I heard such and such say so and so. I fell all the way out. Y'all need to listen to this and put a link up. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the podcasts that I have is called Dr. Verna's Virtues. This woman is a human potential expert. She's PhD. She's on a whole nother universe with her thinking and how she communicates and the messaging and the knowledge that she has. She's a best-selling author. She does TED Talks. I can't even believe she want to be in the same room with me most days. And you know, when she does her shows, I have to market those. I have to put those out there and make people want to listen. And so I tell the truth. I can't believe Dr. Verna is giving us this information for free. Today's show is about seasons in your life and how to manage the seasons of your life successfully. Y'all got to take a listen if you're ready to get to your next level of greatness.
Okay.
You know, the podcast about losing children. I never lost no child. All my babies are in here doing whatever they want to do, but I gotta make it relatable to the people who are listening. So it's still about the messaging. You take that story, you take that information that you know, these women are sharing and telling, and you make it relatable to other women, to other people who will hear it. And if it doesn't impact them, they'll think about somebody that they know. But you gotta touch people. People are being pulled away with kids in school and work and life and COVID and everything else that's going on. You gotta say something that's gonna capture their attention, even if it's for a moment.
Yeah.
One moment. You can't you can't think that if you have a podcast about mysteries that you can't touch somebody, or if you have a podcast about science or robotics or whatever, that it can't touch people. You absolutely can touch people, even if the story is not personal for you. You make it relatable so it's personal for the people who are reading it.
You're fabulous. Thank you for sharing your advice.
I just posted a link, Sheletta, for you and everybody else on this thread. It's podchaser.co. I don't know if you've used it, but they actually look for people like yourselves who have message, and they have advertisers that come on looking for people that have engagement. So if you're not on their platform, it's free to put your link on there, and they will find you because they can see who you're touching and who you're reacting to. And the advertisers pay them to go into a database, but they have all these podcasts and they can tell who your engagement is, where you are, what you're up to, and so on and so forth. So just check that link out. I'm gonna jump in now and go ahead.
Are you trying to do podchaser.com? Because that link is not working.
Sorry. Yes, podchaser.com. Do you want to stick it in there?
I'll do it. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Is it okay if we transition now, Sheletta? Should we talk about the last 10 minutes, like about our news?
Yeah, whatever y'all want to do. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, whatever y'all needed me to say, I was saying it, and giving whatever advice, you know, y'all need me to give to, you know, whoever was logged on, so that, you know, they could, you know, have the success that they needed for their platform. So yeah.
Super helpful. And we have a community. I'm just going to talk a little bit about Sheconomy and the State of Women Podcast Network. So Sheconomy launched during COVID while I was homeschooling my daughter. There's 900 million girls out there who didn't have access to school because of no access to computers or technology. And so we created this app, and it's now live on Android, iOS, and a new platform called KaiOS. And you can see them. You can see it now on your Apple iPhone if you go into the App Store or to the Android store. And you're all welcome to submit your RSS feeds. And it's free of charge. I'm just going to pull up my screen, and like you have multiple podcasts, you can enter them into different categories. And I'm just going to add my screen here. Let's see if it'll work. Share screen. Can you see share screen? Everyone? Yes, no, or not? Oh no. Have I lost
Not
you?
yet, no. Oh, now it's up.
It's up? Okay, so great. So in here, you see the State of Women Podcast Network, who we have partnered with the Podcast Academy. Today is almost our first anniversary. We had a holiday party, which we're going to do again next month. But we've been partnered with Podcast Academy from day one. Everybody that's part of the State of Women Podcast Network, they get included into these lunch and learns. Next month, it's going to be much bigger because we have a new executive director, Jen Amos, who's Filipina American, who just took the reins, and she's just getting her bearings right now. But you can see the different topics, Sheletta, like global women's entrepreneurship. We have all these categories in Spanish, like different shows. If you have autism and health related podcasts, women in wellness, She Disrupts is around technology. She Invests is obviously around investing. You'll see people that you know, walk podcasters, BIPOC podcasters. It's free to submit your RSS. You can see the link right here on the left-hand side. She Coaches, She Explores, again, like travel shows and so forth. And then what we've done is we also have genres. And these genres, you can list your podcast at the bottom on all these different topics. And if you have something that we don't already have, we can add it. And this is now reaching 100,000 listeners across Pakistan, India, Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, Mexico, the United States, and Bangladesh. And we haven't spent a dime, Sheletta. This is all like going viral on its own, because young women and girls are basically saying, you know, we want to learn. We want to be a part of like this whole like, you know, wave of innovation and things that are happening. We want to like continue hearing voices of other women and girls. And this also gives them an opportunity to share their content in the near future. Right here, where we are at the moment with the State of Women, we also have production. But the thing about this is, you know, that's just, it's something that we've put on hold because now we're scaling into India next month. Another 1 million followers in India, and they're going to be on all these preloaded phones, low-cost phones, reaching 500 million people. So if any of you would like to be a part of what we're doing, we've launched a digital library where they tell your story. And this group that we've put together, it's all impact focus. And if you have content that you want to share to women and girls in poor countries and refugee camps, we've created a digital library, speaking opportunities. We have an event coming up next month. Sorry, not next month, next Friday, sorry. It's called Perseverance in partnership with the government of Bermuda. And this is something that, you know, all our members can go to for free. Or if you want to sign up, there's a link and we can share that. Michelle, maybe we can share that through your list. Like once we get your list of attendees, we can share that with everybody. But it's basically, go ahead.
Of course.
It's basically a way for everybody to start connecting. We have a number of podcasters that are part of the State of Women Podcast Network that are attending, but the content here is finance, health, technology, branding, and you can see all of the different attendees, the schedule. It's not your normal Zoom meeting. This is very interactive, and we have speakers. You can see all the different attendees coming from Bermuda and all over the United States. And that way you can start to connect with these people. And some may be interested in doing a podcast or going on your show, whatever it may be. But the cool thing is that we've developed this ourselves. This is our platform. Everything was developed during COVID. And then all of the attendees that are coming, we have a way for them to connect using artificial intelligence. So it'll tell you, here's your profile. This person, for instance, I'll give you an example, has certain interests. She's a mentor. We can connect with her. We can make introductions. We can join her on a video room. This woman works for Bacardi, and she's got all these different interests. She loves beauty, fashion, sales. her interests are diversity and inclusion and her skill sets or whatever, and it'll match you according to people that might have things in common with you. So we built this platform. We're doing these events. We're building out our podcast network, our platform. And, for today, it's just an introduction, but, in a month from now, we'll be on 1 million phones across India. And those people who are not, who are very impact focused, Spotify is not on iOS yet because their market was not the people living on $2 a day, the bottom billion. They're looking at iPhone users and Android users who can afford to pay them $10 a month. What we're after is volume. So if you're looking to increase your downloads and reach and really have some impact, then this is something that I'm bringing to your attention. And I'm saying this to the people watching this video today, that you're welcome to check us out. The link is listen.sheconomy, spelled SHEQONOMI.com. And again, we'll send it out through the Podcast Academy for anyone that wants to join us next Friday. But this is just some heads up on something new designed for women, by women. And really, it's all about impact. And you don't have to be a woman to join our network. If you have content that's focused on elevating women, we will definitely take a look at it. Anybody working on helping UN sustainable goals like reducing poverty, reducing hunger, increasing gender inclusivity and financial inclusion, we would love to hear from you. And so we're baby, 9 months old, scaling fast, and looking forward to collaborate. One development that we have that we're going to share right now with everybody is in 2022, we are launching our own cryptocurrency. So for those of you that have your podcasts on our platform in 2022, when you like, share, or follow podcasts, we're going to be giving out crypto. And we're actually designed curriculum for 7th, 8th grade girls and young women who want to understand how crypto works. We've got that designed already in Bermuda that we're piloting, and hope to scale that as well into different communities, women of color especially, with our collaboration with the Islamic Development Bank that funded our innovation during COVID. So just a shout out to them, thank them for helping us getting off the ground. And then all our listeners and all our podcasters who are on our platform for believing in us. So yeah, you can join the State of Women Podcast Network. There's a join link. Anyone that's a Podcast Academy member, you get a discount, a $75 discount. And we've had a number of Podcast Academy members come on our platform. So you're all welcome to jump on board before we blow up in about a month or so before the holidays. So thank you.
Fantastic. All right, we've come to the end of our time. I will remind everyone that the AMBIs are in process right now. So if you'd like to submit to the AMBIs, you can go to theambis.com. That submission for the awards closes December 3rd, and we have some ways that if you need some support in paying for the submissions, there's the Podcasting Seriously Fund, and we are working to get some sponsorships as well. So there's 2 different options for you there. We look forward to seeing everyone at next month's Lunch and Learn, where we will be talking about podcasting and mental health, and it will be Tuesday, December 7th at noon Eastern Time.
Awesome.
Thanks so much to our special guests. I learned a lot, and we really appreciate all the time and energy you put into telling us about messaging.
Thank you.